The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
The ball sends it over to Edward Robles. Goal! Insert name FC! Let's go! Insert name FC! What is up, everybody? My name is Hector Flores, host of Insert Name FC, a member of the Belly Up Sports Media Network. Proud member of that, as a matter of fact. Actually, we just found out we're now 2 years into our partnership with Belly Up Sports, so that's pretty cool. But joining me, as always, is my best friend and the other host of the show, Edward Robles.
What's up, guys?
But yeah, 2 years now with Belly Up Sports. I think we already passed our 3-year anniversary because we started during COVID.
Yeah, we did.
So yeah, 3 years as a podcast, and now 2 years now with Belly Up Sports. So pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody wants to know about podcasting, if there's one thing, it's just like being persistent and just staying into the groove of things. Yeah. Just don't like the first year is definitely the hardest, but then it's just like this year was definitely probably a bigger grind for me and everyone, just because obviously I was working with the Dynamo and my hours were a little bit hectic. But obviously I'm no longer with the Dynamo, but there's some opportunities. Not going to say anything just yet, but there is something coming. Maybe might happen. I don't know.
It's in the works. Don't jinx it.
So we'll see what happens there. But it's pretty exciting. But obviously this it's about this episode. There's a lot to talk about. Obviously, we're going to start a new segment that actually came off from last episode, which is we're going to always have an overreaction from the weekend before. So we're going to have new overreaction, transfer talk. We have some headlines today. We're gonna have a debate topic, and I might strike some nerves on myself for once we get there. We're gonna recap the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup final with Stuart Kavanagh. Obviously, me and Stuart have been kind of covering the Women's World Cup together in this podcast. So we'll go ahead and let Stuart also wrap it up as well, and then of course, the other final that happened, which is the 2023 Leagues Cup final. I'm sure everybody knows what happened there because social media went crazy about that one. Announce our players of the week, give you guys some games to look forward to this coming weekend. And of course, like I said, we're already 2 weeks into the season. So obviously at the beginning of the season, we always do our 3 up, 3 downs on soccer jerseys. And where this episode will feature the Serie A, and I gotta say, some of these jerseys are really nice. So, great job, Serie A.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know. I'm just gonna say I don't. I'm still like,
yeah. But yeah, so quite the show. Before we get going, obviously we want to send our thoughts and prayers. Unfortunately, incident happened over here, actually right around here in Houston, specifically in the Pasadena region, in Pasadena, Texas, where unfortunately an 11-year-old child was murdered. So obviously we want to, it sucks, especially because you're talking about such a young age, but also the fact that it happened in our own backyard. But obviously, we want to send our prayers to Maria Gonzalez and her family for that tragedy. But like I said, it's something that happened in our own backyard, but we always want to pay our respects for that. So, Edward, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I mean, just our thoughts and prayers go out to them and the families. Excuse me. It's very tragic. for that to happen. You never really like just in general. You don't want like a murder to happen, even if it's just like a grown up. But it's like when it's a child, it's like to me, it's like you're taking innocence away from life, from this world, and it's something that we do thoroughly need all
Mm-hmm.
together here in this world. Because it's like it's very tough, especially being a dad of two boys. You know, like like right now, my kids are little. They don't know anything. They don't know much about bad and good, and they ask questions. But it's just certain things where you just kind of don't want to involve them, such as like murders and stuff. You don't want to expose them to that kind of stuff. So it's very, and I'm sure the family's going through a very 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 difficult time, and our thoughts and prayers, and God is watching over them right now as we speak. And sometimes they say, God has a purpose for everybody, whether it's like a few days, a couple of years, or you're still here in this world after 104 years. Like you have a purpose. And sad to say that this little boy's purpose, it was a little bit too early. It was taken away, basically.
Yeah. So yeah, it's such a tragic. Very gone very young, but obviously thoughts and prayers to the family of little Maria. And but yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and take a break, and then we'll get going with this episode.
Spring has sprung, and our friends at Manscaped have the best tools for some spring cleaning. They've already helped you tidy up all the nooks and crannies of your body's basement, but this year, Manscaped can help you get the perfect presentation on that beautiful face with the new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Make sure you look your best this spring by using code BELLYUP20 to get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. It's time to tame your mane with the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. The sun is peeking back out, which means you'll have to show your face in the daylight again. So use the kit to make sure your scruff looks award-winning, whether you got glorious beard flow or some smooth, sleek cheeks. The kit starts off with the Beard Hedger, a waterproof cordless trimmer with a rotary wheel that gives you 20 hair cutting lengths, all with one guard. So no more messy drawers full of add-ons. It also comes with the titanium-coated T-blades that are tough on hair but smooth on your face, leading to a single-stroke efficiency that brings satisfaction one stroke at a time. The Beard Hedger is a high-tech piece of art in a travel-size package with a long-lasting battery, universal charging, and a strong motor. So what are you waiting for? Save 20% off and free shipping when you use the promo code BELLYUP20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the promo code BELLYUP20 at manscaped.com. Focus on the face and use the Beard Hedger Pro Kit for the cleanest look in the game.
And we're back. All right, so another week of soccer has happened. Now all the leagues are now officially playing. Edward, do you have any overreactions for this week? Maybe one that you want to top on Barcelona winning the Champions League, competing in the Champions League final.
I mean, not necessarily. Right now, to be honest, maybe I'm gonna be okay with Borussia winning the league now because I saw how Bayern was playing, and I'm not saying they're playing bad. It's just
Then they win like 4-0.
yeah, but that's what the thing is. Like, I don't know. I feel like Harry Kane isn't the striker.
You fancy Dortmund's chances?
Yeah, like Harry Kane wasn't exactly. He had a couple shots. I saw that, and there was one shot that was actually going on point.
Did he score a goal?
But no, but the goalie blocked it though.
No, he scored a goal.
No, I know that, but I'm saying like he actually had a beauty of a shot that he just took it like first time, and it was actually going in, and he blocked it. But I don't know, like we'll see. It's just I feel like they were making like Sane do a little bit more of the work, so I was like, okay, which I could see why. Dude's fast as fuck, but just I don't know. I'm fasting Dortmund's chances of actually winning the cup.
Okay, so Edwards' overreaction
That's my overreaction right there.
is he feels Bayern Munich isn't winning as good as he thinks they should be winning.
They should be winning 8-0 with Harry Kane.
Okay, that's a new one. My overreaction for this week is actually going to be eventually we're gonna start seeing some more confident. Like the theme so far for Arsenal has been solid defensive performances, which me and I were talking off the air not that long, literally like today, right? Just right
like a few minutes ago. Yeah.
That Thomas Partey is now essentially playing a center back role. Declan Rice, another solid performance from him. I actually do see Declan Rice really good. I do call him overrated. I can still see someone as good and still deem them overrated at the same time. It is possible, but yeah, another solid performance from him defensively. He was just everywhere on the field, but it's this attack that really is like getting me a little nervous about Arsenal. I don't think that they necessarily need to find like a 9 or anything. Obviously, I think with players like Gabi Jesus and Saka, and like eventually there's going to be goals. I know that was kind of one of the reasons why they brought Kai Havertz was with his ability on the attacking side. But Martinelli had some good opportunities today. They played Crystal Palace. Actually, not that long ago. They just beat Crystal Palace.
That's right.
1-0. But yeah, the attack needs to start scoring some goals, man. Like, because if not, I don't know how dependent you could be on defense for so long. So I definitely need to see a little bit more attack from Arsenal. So that's my overreaction. We need to see some goals. But yeah, so all right, that's our overreactions for this week. Transfer talk. So, all right, kick things off with a lot of Saudi Arabia. A lot of Saudi Arabia is going to be mentioned. Specifically, Al Nassr. Al Nassr is pushing to add more. If you guys don't know, Al Nassr has yet to win a match since their season started. So even though they won their first trophy, I can't tell you what the trophy was, what the tournament was, because obviously I don't follow Saudi Arabia like that. But apparently it was significant that we saw it all over ESPN FC. I do believe now that the Saudi League is now available on like some sort of Fox channel, I think it is. So maybe I can catch some Saudi Arabian soccer if I really wanted to. I'll be lying to you if I tell you I will try. But anyways, Al Nassr, they're looking to add a little bit more to the team because why not?
Yeah.
And they're actually looking at Alisson from Liverpool, which that seems like a reach to me. And this seems actually pretty realistic because Manchester City has kind of wanted to move on from this player, and that's Laporte. I don't know about Alisson, but I do think Laporte. I think there was like a little bit of an update that it looks like it's gonna happen, that Laporte's gonna go to Al Nassr. But yeah, Edward, what do you think about that?
I mean, like you said, I believe it that they'll probably end up going for Laporte because I mean Laporte's already not on his way out, but he's not young anymore, and just he's already he's seasoned. He's seasoned, but he's still pretty good to play in the Saudi league. Like I think he still has the chops to do it, to be basically defending over there in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I think Manchester City made it clear when they went after the Croatian center back.
What's his name? How do you say his name?
Vardiol. It's like Gvardiol. I could be wrong on the spelling. But anyways, I mean they signed him. Obviously, I think he made his debut. He looked he looked pretty good. But yeah, I mean Laporte, he's just kind of he hasn't really been used much. Like I think usually when I see the center back pairing, it's usually Ruben Diaz and Stones. So, and this is obviously before they signed Vardiol.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, And like I said, Manchester City kind of wants to move on from him. And why not go to Al Nassr and make a bunch of money? So
Right? I mean, hey, you might as well.
might as well. Might as well. Hugo Lloris, he actually probably people didn't realize, but he actually left Tottenham, and now he has joined Lazio in the Serie A.
That's gonna be a new grounds for him.
Yeah, I actually think it's an interesting situation there, but we'll see how that goes. How he if he improves Lazio, after just being tortured by Tottenham for so many years. Continuing on,
Dude, watch it. Somehow they end up winning the Serie A just because like he had like clean sheets or like maybe lets in like 1 or 2 goals every game.
They become this year's Napoli.
Bro, that would be insane.
That would be interesting. Barcelona is interested in bringing in João Cancelo from Manchester City. Another player that Manchester City kind of wants to move on from. They actually do want to move on from him. I know that they were hoping that Bayern Munich would buy him, use their buy option, but they didn't like the transfer fee, so they were trying to negotiate a lower transfer fee. Manchester City did not agree to that transfer fee, so then he went back to Manchester City. So there was rumors about him going elsewhere, but it seems like Barcelona could be the destination for João Cancelo, maybe even possibly be another loan for him.
Oh Jesus! I'm just, you know me, man. You know me. I'm tired of all the old signings. Just do the Cruyff method. Do the Johan Cruyff method. Just go to the school. Go to the academies, man. Like, damn, bro.
I mean, they did just have a 16-year-old make his debut over Ferran Torres. So
no, I know that, but still, like, you know what I mean. Like, shit, develop them, bring them out, man. Shit, ain't no reason to freaking hold them back.
Yeah, no, you got a good point.
Yeah.
Edwards quoting the great Jay-Z by saying, "Bring him out."
Yeah.
Wait, no, that was not Jay-Z. That was a T.I. song.
No, it's a Jay-Z song. Bring them out, bring them out, bring them out.
I thought
that was Jay-Z.
I thought T.I. was in it.
It could have been, but I remember Jay-Z specifically saying that.
I mean, it's not like it's a common phrase. I don't think there's one. Oh, yeah, it is. Wait,
you're Googling it, aren't you?
I am. Bring him out by T.I. Does it feature anybody?
No, but it's probably the name of the song is different. The one that Jay-Z did.
No, doesn't say who says bring him out, but it's definitely. I don't think it's Jay-Z, or maybe it is Jay-Z. Okay, yeah, T.I. Bring him out featuring Jay-Z. That's also YouTube, so I can't promise you that that's actually him. But anyways, it's a T.I. song. Maybe it has Jay-Z in it. Maybe we make a meme out of that. The meme would be Edward when he sees an academy player in Barcelona.
Yeah, pretty much.
But all right, yes. Continuing on, Chelsea is not done getting rid of all their old players, and that is as Ziyech has decided to join Galatasaray.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Like I mean, to be honest, Ziyech, like he's a really good winger. Like to me, he's underrated because all these other wingers like Cristiano Ronaldo, when Messi was playing, you had Ousmane Dembele. Who else could I like basically compare? Riyad Mahrez. Like even though like to me like Ziyech was like a little bit underrated compared to them, but he's I mean, he's good. I mean, he's a good winger, and so for him to make that move and for his benefit, that's a good move. I think that's a smart move for him.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So, yeah, I mean, anything just to get him out of Chelsea. So
yeah, I mean, he was causing problems like for Arsenal and for Manchester United. He's always causing problems. So I mean, it's a good thing for us in that sense as fans and wanting for our teams to flourish.
Yeah,
and it's a good thing for him personally.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense. It makes sense.
All right, continuing on. Speaking of Barcelona, La Masia graduates, Ansu Fati has made it clear that he actually wants to leave Barcelona.
Yeah. Now, so here's the deal. I okay. So here's the deal. In my look, I'm gonna just bring a little bit of FIFA in this the video game. In my
Mm-hmm.
manager mode, I started with Barca. I sold Ansu Fati, and I mean, I think I've told you this before. I ended up bringing Phil Foden, which
Mm-hmm.
was like almost about the same price, and I still had some money left over. But now that Ansu Fati, let's say he says he wants to leave, I'm pretty sure his price tag's not gonna be as up there, and I'm sure that Barcelona's gonna be looking for a hefty price in order to compensate for all the buyings they've been doing, and of course all the money they still owe to this day. And the thing is, I think him wanting to leave is like kind of like I said, double-edged sword. It's not a lot of people are gonna want to like. He hasn't really seen a lot of play time, so not a lot of people they can see the potential, but they haven't seen a lot of anything out of him.
Yeah,
Like
I
in
agree
recent
with that.
times.
I don't know if
So
like
his
a
so his worth is not going to be as high as it once was when Messi was there. Like everybody was like, "Oh, he left Messi left in his number." Messi's the one that's saying, "Oh, he's going to be hella good." This and that. That was before the injuries and everything, and then it's just his light kind of faded out. But he still can bring it. Like I've seen him play. He still has the talent. He still has the moves. He still has the skill. He can score. He can pass. He can do everything. It's just they don't let him. They don't let him play. They don't let him shine.
Mhm.
If anything, they're giving that spotlight a little bit to Ferran Torres. Like I feel like,
No, he did score a goal.
but yeah, I know, but still, like I guess I'm
I,
playing favoritism over here.
I think with Ansu Fati, I think also there's like a confidence that's getting drained a little bit from over there in Barcelona. Um,
Yeah,
maybe I don't know if he's gonna be able to like secure like a top club, like say like an Arsenal, even though I think Arsenal has actually declared that they're interested in him. But like like maybe like a Manchester United, probably like not realistically, probably the ideal place that he needs to go. Maybe plays for like a mid-tier, like a mid-table club. Maybe goes to another league. Maybe he can find himself again in the Eredivisie, or like he maybe for him is not the best situation to go play for like a top contending club. Because obviously with those clubs usually minutes is going to be an issue for him, and obviously he wants to go somewhere where he's going to play. So maybe he goes to a PSV, or maybe goes to an RB Salzburg, or even goes to an RB Leipzig. I mean, Leipzig has been proven to be a good place for young players to go and really get some minutes in. I wouldn't say this. I think Barcelona would be dumb for Barcelona to like lose him, but maybe send him out on loan. Maybe see if he can like find his groove back, and maybe he finds his love back for Barcelona. Or I would say be cheeky and also make sure if you do transfer him, make sure you have a buyback clause for him, because I do think
yeah,
Ansu Fati is going to bounce back, and I think he's going to you know be that player that a lot of people were hoping he was going to be, not only for Barcelona but for Spain as well.
yeah. And then the thing is, like the buyback clause. Like for example, I would suggest buy him back for the amount they sold him, or maybe just a little bit, like a little bit more, not a big margin. Because the thing is, if he's gonna be going places, um, I'm pretty sure you don't want him to be. If you're trying to get him back in about a year or two, I'm pretty sure you're not trying to pay like over 200 million or something like that. Like basically Mbappe buku money or Erling Haaland money. Oh, for a player that basically was once yours and now you done fucked it up.
No, yeah, definitely. But all right, continuing on, Wataru Endo is leaving VfB Stuttgart and joining Liverpool. Obviously, Liverpool is in need of a defensive midfielder, and obviously after missing out on Caicedo, but I think after watching that West Ham game, I think Liverpool is now kind of relieved. so, but Wataru Endo, a Japanese player, very, very good player. I've gotten to watch him a few times in the Bundesliga. Yeah, I think solid player. Kind of what you get from these Japanese players. Just overall really good, technically savvy, understands positioning and all, like just like what you get from most Japanese players is exactly what you get from Endo. And I think he's really good on the defensive side as well. So I think he's a big boost for Liverpool. And he's young.
Yeah.
So there you go. Al Ittihad is interested in getting Rafael Varane. So they're gonna try to see if they can do a reunion with him and Karim Benzema.
Oh yeah.
Which I think Edward would definitely not want that to happen, because then there's a certain center back in Manchester United that would have to end up playing.
Maybe we can get rid of him before then.
Yeah, you still need a center back.
I know.
Yeah, I personally don't think this move is going to happen. I don't think Rafael Varane should be anywhere near any sort of quote-unquote retirement league, whether it's MLS or even Saudi Arabia. I think he's fine where he's at in Manchester United. So
yep, exactly. I mean, he's good. He's got play time. He's getting the money. I mean, he's good, and he's got the competition.
Mm-hmm. Speaking about good places, Tyler Adams has now left Leeds United and has joined Bournemouth, so he's back in the Premier League in a place where I feel pretty confident that he's going to get plenty of opportunities to play. And as long as he stays healthy, I think he can be really beneficial for Bournemouth. And I mean, hopefully he can get himself back in a position with the U.S. men's national team.
Yep.
So
hopefully he can.
All right, sticking with Americans, Sergino Dest is leaving Barcelona once again on loan and joining PSV, where he reunites with Malik Tillman and Ricardo Pepi.
Oh, man. I mean, I'm over here excited that he's back in Barca, but it's like, oh, hey, yeah, we're just going to loan you out again. It's like, okay.
Yeah, Edward is like a real big fanboy of Sergino Dest, and it's unfortunate that Barcelona doesn't agree with him.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, he's a U.S. player, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It was the same thing with Conrad de la Fuente, you know? So I was like, bro, like, they got to play him a little bit more. They got to play him a little bit more. But, I mean, right back positions, I mean, right now, they're still giving it to Sergio Roberto. They're like, I mean, you can't fight him on it.
Mm-hmm.
He's good. So, but, I mean, shit, give the kid a chance, you know?
Mm-hmm. I agree. Real Madrid is going to try one more time to get Kylian Mbappe. Obviously, last week's overreaction that I made was that Real Madrid needs to bring in a striker. Obviously, Real Madrid has been constantly rumored with Mbappe. We'll definitely be talking a little bit more about Mbappe, so I'm not gonna get not get into deep with it, but clearly Real Madrid needs a 9. Even though yes, they've managed to win their last 2 matches. It hasn't really been because of the attack. It's been more so because of a player that actually will be mentioned later on in this episode as well. But yeah, it's the attack definitely needs a boost, and I think obviously adding a top quality 9 is much needed. And clearly they still want Mbappe, and I don't blame them for that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, they're waiting for Jose Luis to pull an Mbappe kind of performance.
He hasn't been starting.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're waiting for him to pull it out.
No, they're not. They're like, we're just gonna keep bringing you off the bench. They keep using the 4-4-2 diamond. It's a formation that I'm kind of not a fan of right now. Yeah, they need a 9. And I told you, Jose Lu was not going to be the 9. I told you that from the beginning, even though that's your player to watch this season.
He's my player to watch because, I mean, he's on your team. I don't want him to be scoring goals in Barcelona when it comes to a Clásico, all right?
Well, I mean, it might happen if they don't get Mbappe. But yeah, Real Madrid is gonna make one more is gonna try one more time to get Mbappe. Continuing
Uh,
on, Al Ali is looking at bringing in Rodrigo de Paul from Atletico Madrid.
yeah, that's crazy.
Once again, it's a player that that does not need to go to Saudi Arabia. They need to still be playing in Europe. Like
Yep.
it's like I get it that you're trying to bring also players that are current form, but like your league is fine with these like super late, like late 20s to early 30s players. Like just stick with what your formula is right now. Like quit trying to poach players that like probably have no right to be in your league. Like I'm sorry, I'm really trying so hard not to say anything negative about the Saudi Arabian league, but just,
You mean they're trying to steal all the players?
yeah, it's kind of getting annoying now. It really
I
is.
mean, the ball is still good, dude. Like he
That's
can
what I'm
still
saying.
hold it
Like he
down.
doesn't need to go there. Like if he goes there, it's literally because of the money. It's not because he's going to a competitive league or a league that has like any sort of like I, right now because everybody keeps trying to say, oh, that the Saudi League's better than MLS. Yes, if you put like the best 11 right now of the Saudi League, which is going to feature no Saudi Arabian players, versus an all MLS team, which ironically might not feature many American players either. Um, the Saudi league would probably win.
Yeah,
But I mean, if you look at the product as a whole of the Saudi league versus the MLS, I would take MLS every single day. But it's just I don't know. I'm getting annoyed now because like they're just gonna keep and like I'm so glad that Mbappe said no, even if it was just for 1 year. Like I'm glad he said no to that. Like he was like, yeah, no, I'm not. He's like, I want to compete for a Ballon d'Or. If I go to Saudi Arabia, I'm not getting one.
yeah. And the thing is, even if he goes for 1 year, let's put it this way: even if he goes to Saudi Arabia for 1 year, that's gonna be like an asterisk on his career. Because like
Hmm.
if let's say he goes to Saudi Arabia, but he goes back to the EPL, like, do you think he's still gonna
The
be doing
worst
the
part would
same
be
position?
if he were to go and ball out in Saudi Arabia, then goes to the Premier League and he could barely come out with 10 goals. Then everyone's gonna be like, dang, that's how easy that league is.
You know what? You know what? I just thought about it. Like perfect example. He would be another Freddie Adu if that happened.
Oh, wait, what?
He would be another Freddie Adu.
I don't know about that, but
Nah, remember, he was supposed to be like the Wonder Kid for the U.S. I mean,
no,
he was
I
playing
get what
since he
you're
was.
saying, but I don't see the correlation because Mbappe is proven like he's done it. He's
No, he's a World Cup winner. I understand. He's won the French league. God knows how many times with PSG. Um, he's he has the accolades, and he actually has he's pulled France in the final by himself. You know, like he did his goals, he
yeah,
did
that's
his
what.
moves.
So like I said, I don't think comparing it to Freddie because Freddie Adu unfortunately just never lived up to it. Like all the hype that was around him, he just never lived up to it.
Yeah,
So I think those are two whole different things. Like I mean, I'm not even trying to compare that. Like I mean, if he has like if he were to go to Saudi Arabia, have a very solid season, you know, breaks the Saudi Arabian goal scoring record, which I'm sure is not very high to begin with. Um, like he breaks the record. You know, the club that he plays for, like they win the whole thing. Ronaldo's crying and all that, blah blah blah. And
oh
then
my God.
the following season, you know, he leaves because he only signed a 1 year contract, and then goes to I don't know Chelsea, and then like he can't carry Chelsea like he carried that Saudi Arabian team. Then obviously everyone's gonna be like, oh, well, I guess he can only perform in terrible leagues because then that devalues League One too, but like
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying though. Like for that, I just think that like it's just gonna show that he's not worth the hype, and then you're gonna have those people that like, oh man, if Mbappe could have done that in 1 year in Saudi Arabia, Holland would have scored like 5,000 goals. Like so, I mean, like you know, it's just gonna hurt his credibility if that were to happen, and then also he would hurt his credibility if he were to go to Saudi Arabia right now because
yep,
he really doesn't have he really has no reason to go there. Like his career is all in front of him, and he should be playing in the highest level in Europe and not be playing in Saudi Arabia.
yep, exactly.
But yeah,
So I mean,
so I mean,
it's just these are all hypotheticals, by the way, guys.
yeah, But yeah, but I mean, for Rodrigo, he's still in a situation where I mean, Atletico Madrid. There's some question marks behind what's going on over there in Atletico Madrid, but he's still a solid player. He could definitely compete in the best in the world. Obviously, recently won a World Cup. So I mean, like, he has no reason that he needs to go to like Saudi Arabia. Like, he can still compete in the highest level of football.
Yep, exactly, sir.
All right, and the last headline, obviously Real Madrid, Eder Militao will be out for the season, so they're looking to add another center back to the team, and they are actually interested in Arsenal's Gabriel, which I believe Gabriel is very happy in Arsenal. I don't think they say all these things, but obviously then when the money is in front of them, they usually end up changing their minds. But Arsenal is like an interesting situation because now Thomas Partey's used as a center back. So I mean, you could say that maybe they don't necessarily need Gabriel. So, but I think Gabriel likes what's going on in Arsenal. I think he wants to try to finish out what Arsenal is trying to do, and that's hopefully trying to win a Premier League title. So we'll see what happens there. But Real Madrid is trying to push for Gabriel.
Yeah, well, they'll be able. I think they'll be able to.
All right. Well, wait, able to what? Get him, or
Yeah.
he's staying at our. Okay. I was just like, that took me back for a minute. All right, headlines. So Mbappe is staying put at PSG. We kind of touched up about it a little bit in last episode, but yeah, Mbappe will be playing this season with PSG. Obviously, if you guys don't know, Mbappe, going into the summer, Mbappe made it clear that he obviously signed a new contract with PSG. And everyone thought it was set to go till 2025, but however, that 2025 was an option year. So Mbappe, if he were to, he essentially signed a 2-year contract with a player option for a third year. And he made it clear that he was not going to opt in for that third year. That he was just going to play the season out and then walk out and go test out the market and see where he goes. Which at the end of it all just seemed that it was leaning towards Real Madrid. But obviously PSG, after almost losing Mbappe literally a year ago, they were like, well, we can't let him go. So they're like, no, you have to, like, we're gonna sell you then. Like, if you're like committed to not going, to not like staying, not continuing to be with us, then we're gonna sell you unless you sign the contract. So they gave him a deadline when to re-sign with them, and if they weren't, they were gonna just sell him to the highest bidder, thinking that they were gonna come in scot-free, like with no problems. Mbappe did not sign an extension at all. So then they were like, all right, we're gonna sell you, which that's what happened when an opportunity with the Saudi League came in. They offered him a lucrative deal. I'm sure everyone saw that on social media where people were like, "Oh no, we're not going to play basketball anymore. We're going to start playing soccer."
Yeah.
But obviously, Mbappe did not take the deal because you got to remember that, because the club can accept the transfer fee, but at the end of the day, the player has to agree to terms with the club before the deal can happen. And also that money that was shown out on social media, like the transfer, that was the transfer bid. So that was what the club was going to get. That wasn't what he was going to get. What he was going to get was even lucrative. But
no, yeah, I think they even compared it to like his 1-year wage was
like he could buy
comparable.
He can pay a whole basketball team salary with his paycheck.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so Mbappe obviously did not accept the move to Saudi Arabia. And even though the Saudi team was actually, okay, well, you could play for us for 1 year and then you could just walk out. You can go to wherever you want to go after that. But he didn't want that deal. He wanted to stay. Like I said, he wanted to stay in PSG, finish out the year, leave a hero, and then go on to greener pastures. But after that, then obviously they were listening to highest bidders. Barcelona tried to offer something. Chelsea offered something. Liverpool was trying to get something done. And obviously Real Madrid continued to push. Realistically, Real Madrid was probably the only team that could actually afford Mbappe. And so obviously, them and PSG were going back at it, back and forth. and nothing came to be because I think putting my tinfoil hat on, I think PSG just never wanted to sell to Real Madrid. I think they hate Real Madrid. I think they're trying to get an investigation on Real Madrid, saying that they were trying to like for what's it called?
Like do like personal negotiations with Mbappe before they even talk to the club, kind of stuff.
Yeah, like they were, like that. Something like I forgot what the word was called, but yeah, something similar to that. So like I personally don't believe that they ever wanted Real Madrid to ever get Mbappe. So that's just my personal bias. Like I said, tinfoil hat on. That's what I think. But after all that, and then what's funny is that there was a specific date in August that if Mbappe was still on the team, the club then owes him $60 million as a loyalty bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Still hilarious to hear that. Yeah. So after all that, and they even like didn't allow him to train with the team. He wasn't allowed to go travel with the team for their preseason matches. Didn't play the first week, and then finally they were like, okay, you can play out your last season. So then after all this, they just were compliant to what Mbappe wanted to do, which is now like everyone's just like, what was all this for? Like, what was all this that you were doing? Well, PSG said, all right, you can play one more season, but you got to do something for us. And what they're doing is that they're basically asking Mbappe is to sign an extension with the promise that he will be sold next summer.
Pretty much, yeah.
And so like, which I personally don't think Mbappe is going to sign, because why would he want to be sold when he could just leave, go to wherever club he wants to go to, and that's it. Like at that point, unless he just wants to be nice to PSG and just give PSG the opportunity to be able to say that they didn't let Mbappe go.
I mean, okay, let's put it this way though. Don't you think he would also get money because of like the first contract that they had? Because isn't he technically like part of the board as well?
I really don't know what's going on, to be honest.
Like when he gets part
like,
of the that money?
No, I get what you're saying. I just don't know if that actually happened now. Is what I'm saying, because we haven't really heard anything about him having a say on the board or anything like that. So I can't tell you what happened there, because I remember that was something that was promised to him, that he had like a say on like what players come in and go. And I don't know if it really has been happening, but like, because Messi's now gone. Friggin' Neymar's gone now. So like,
I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing, though. Like now with Neymar and Messi gone, now it's Mbappe's show at this point.
It should be. It could be. But obviously, he hasn't been playing. Well, I mean, he did play. He finally played last week. I believe he scored a goal, and I believe they tied. But anyways, aside from all that, like I said, I don't think Mbappe's going to sign an extension, because obviously, why would he do that? Because also, who's to say if PSG tries to do some grimy thing where like, you're stuck for us for that year. Because I mean, unless it's on the contract, like, hey, sign this new deal so that way we can sell you next summer. Which once again, as a player, it sounds so stupid to like sign that deal. But another caveat is going, once again, Real Madrid, a team that has been very clear that they want Mbappe on their team, which they're more like, obviously, aside from just receiving this news that Real Madrid is going to try one more time to like sell it, to buy Mbappe from PSG. They actually made it clear that they were just going to write it out, wait till the season's over, and then get Mbappe in the summer for free, which, I mean, in hindsight, that would be great business, because you just got one of the world's best players for nothing besides just having to pay a salary. And so now Real Madrid is actually threatening Mbappe that if he does sign that extension with PSG, that they will not go after him. As a matter of fact, they will try to get Erling Haaland.
They will basically say, they were basically telling him like, okay, we will no longer further follow you around anymore. Like, we're not, wherever you go, we're not going to keep an eye on you. You're not going to be part of the club ever.
Yeah. So like your dreams of playing for Real Madrid, won't happen if you sign that extension. So that's a bold move from Perez. I will say that. But yeah, like I said, at this point, I'm kind of annoyed being like, as a fan of Real Madrid, I'm very much annoyed at being teased by Mbappe like this. Like it's just like just if you're gonna do it, do it. If you're gonna sign. Like I mean, and at the same time, PSG, like it was like if you really wanted to take full advantage of what you knew your team was falling apart. Like you guys knew that Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi wasn't gonna pan out. You can clearly tell Messi was not at all interested in being at PSG. As a matter of fact, he seems a lot happier in Miami. Which that's gotta hurt you. Like you weren't gonna be competitive. Like you have like your best year in the Champions League was during the pandemic. And I mean, no offense to Bayern Munich fans, but like let's be honest. Like let's just throw an asterisk on your Champions League trophy now. But like I mean, but that's the crazy part. Like the best chance that PSG ever had at winning a Champions League was when there was no fans in the stadiums, where like you only had to play one knockout game. Like it wasn't a 2-leg match. You know, like you only played one game.
Yeah,
winner goes on.
That's when they changed. That's when they changed the rules. That's right.
So like your best chance was one of the most convenient runs that your club had, because you didn't have to worry about a second leg, which I'm sure if you would have to face off against Barcelona, you would have been much more relieved that was the case. But yeah, like your club's history, you guys have never been close to winning a Champions League, and ever since then, it's been first round exits.
Yep.
And so like, you're whatever is going on in your club is just not working. Yeah, you brought in Luis. I feel like they've brought in so many great quality coaches like over the years. Ancelotti, Tuchel, well now Luis Enrique, Unai Emery even had a good stint with PSG.
He did. Like
you've had good coaches. Like the coaches aren't the issue. Like you had quality, like high quality level coaches. The only ones you never had with Jose Mourinho and Pep Guardiola. You've clearly been able to bring in the best players in the world. You've had players like Zlatan Ibrahimovic. You had Mbappe. You have Mbappe. You had Neymar. You had the GOAT at one point, Messi. You have one of the best center midfielders in all the game in Verratti.
I mean, remember
you had a prime Thiago Silva.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they had Thiago Silva. That's right.
You had a prime Thiago Silva. You had
you have Marquinhos.
You have Marquinhos now. I mean, like the excuses are just like out of the table. Like you've had some of the best rosters. You got Donnarumma for some odd reason. You had one of the best goalkeepers in Champions League in Keylor Navas. Don't correct me on that.
Oh yeah.
But it's like, and you still can't get, and you haven't gone far besides the 1 year that the rules were changed. Like at that point, I would have just been like, you know what, our best player is not going to get a Champions League trophy at this point. Like I think we got all that we can from him. If Real Madrid, and I mean, you should have done it the first time Real Madrid was trying to go after him, and when they were prepared to pay like 200 like million
buku money
to get him. And so like, at this point now they know that you're trying to get rid of him. So why are they going to offer you 200 million? They're going to offer you 120, which is still a lot of money. But
but it's not as much as he was worth, where he's technically
essentially PSG missed out on the opportunity to get like the most out of the kid from Mbappe. In my honest opinion, like I think they missed out tremendously. And I think Mbappe will extend with PSG? No. No one in their right mind, like especially as a player, like I get a chance to I get to finish out my season, so I can dictate my value from this season alone. If I can, even as bad as PSG is performing, like if I perform well, my value is still going to be where it is. I mean, we see it everywhere when it comes to some of the top players. They play in terrible teams, but they're so good that their value is still better than the teams. So I mean, Mbappe, all he has to do is just ball out this season, have a decent Champions League period, and then when he leaves, he can literally go to any club he wants to go to as long as the offer is good enough for him, as long as the opportunity it fits what he thinks he needs. Why would he want to do that versus where PSG like only certain number of clubs can offer the transfer fee? So like for Mbappe, it makes zero sense for him to sign an extension with PSG. Like if PSG really thinks this is gonna, I will say if it happens, okay, PSG just somehow are like the negotiation masters of the world. But if it doesn't happen, it's because clearly no one in their right mind would miss out on an opportunity to go to where they think is their best fit.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's Real Madrid.
Yeah, I mean, I know you hope it's Real Madrid. Honestly, I think it may be Real Madrid, but I don't know why, but I just see him in the EPL.
I mean, it would definitely be popcorn twice a year when it's Mbappe versus Holland.
Oh yeah,
that's gonna be the new Messi Ronaldo, Mbappe versus Holland.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like, if Mbappe was to go to the English Premier League, it would be the exact same thing when Messi and Ronaldo were both in La Liga. Like that's the reason why La Liga was so highly valued was because of Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And like if you're gonna to top that, now you have Holland, which I mean I'm gonna say it as biased as I am towards La Liga, the English Premier League is the best league. Like the best league in the world is the English Premier League.
Yep.
I mean I can admit that, but I'm still gonna I can admit that.
We're still gonna follow La Liga.
I will still say I think the La Liga is better.
Yeah.
Even though I know the English Premier League is the best league, I will still say but the La Liga is better. Hey, I think Espanyol could beat Aston Villa. But yeah, no, it would be the same effect. Like if Mbappe just decided to go play for Manchester United, now that's one of the biggest. Well, now it's the biggest rivalry in the Premier League. It wasn't so much a rivalry back then, but obviously that would be the talk of the town. And then it's in the same city. You're talking about people traveling to Manchester to watch Mbappe and Holland just go at it every year, twice a year. Yeah, it would be insane. The coverage would be like Apple. If you want, like, if Apple somehow, like, because I think Apple's actually working on trying to get the English Premier League now, trying to get the rights to the English Premier League. So can you imagine if, like, obviously they've been like promoting the hell out of Messi being now on the MLS. Imagine if they like that's gonna be their whole focal point is like, hey, if you want to watch Erling Haaland and Mbappe go one-on-one against each other twice a year, come subscribe to the English Premier League on Apple TV.
Damn.
That would
just tear everything up.
Messi's gonna be like that meme of the guy rubbing his hands because of all the money he's getting.
Yeah, because he's getting money off of that. So yeah, I believe it.
And Messi's gonna go call Mbappe real quick. Hey man, I've ever told you about Manchester United?
Oh, hey, no lie. He could make a difference in Manchester United.
He'll make a difference anywhere he goes. That's the kind of player he is.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what Mbappe is. Mbappe is.
Well, let's put it this way. As long as he's put in the position that he's most comfortable and he's able to do his thing, then yes, I believe it. But it's not like you're gonna put Mbappe over there and be a center back.
No, I mean obviously not. I know. I mean, but there's like certain players in this world that I think like them alone will instantly elevate the team.
Yep.
And for me, those players are Mbappe, Erling Haaland, Messi, and Ronaldo. I like say what you want. It's been
proven. Let's put it this way: it's been proven.
Yeah, say what you want about Ronaldo's time at Juventus, but that was probably one of the better periods of
Juventus. That was. I was surprised. Like honestly, like he did carry. Like I said, he did carry that team. He was basically the Mandzukic of that team. Like when Mandzukic wasn't there anymore, then Ronaldo came in. It was the same style of play, just a little bit of flair, just a little bit, not a lot, but it's still like. It was still that's exactly what they needed. Now it was like
because I mean honestly, like
Real Madrid is good.
Like honestly, Real Madrid before Ronaldo I'll be frank, they weren't winning every year, so it was definitely like a rough period for Real Madrid fans.
Who did they have? Who did they have before Cristiano Ronaldo showed up at Real Madrid? Who did they have?
Robin.
Raúl. Huh?
Oh
yeah, Arjen Robin and Raúl and Schneider, right?
Schneider at one point. They had Van der Vaart.
Van der Vaart.
It's so depressing going through these names.
Chicharito.
Huh?
Chicharito for a little bit, right?
Well, that was with Ronaldo. But yeah, like once Ronaldo came into Real Madrid, the team looked completely different. Like I mean, yeah, mind you, they also added Kaká and Benzema. Well, Benzema wasn't even playing regularly because that Raúl was still with the team.
Yeah.
Because remember that was when before Ronaldo could wear number 7, he had to wear number 9.
Yep.
That was a weird time. But yeah, like I think yeah, kind of going back into it though, like there's certain players that just instantly elevate a team. Like Mbappe, if he were to go to Chelsea, not saying anything, but he might be able to be like the person that finally fixes Chelsea's attack. Like any team could use Mbappe. Let's just be honest. Like, but obviously Mbappe could shoot. Like, if Mbappe were to just like walk out after this season, gets to leave at PSG, and he can, Arsenal could give him their bid. Manchester United could give him their bid. Hell, let's say Manchester City wants to be greedy and make their bid. Tottenham could even make a bid, even though I'd be laughing the whole time because he would clearly say no. But like all these teams in the English Premier League, even I wouldn't be shocked if Barcelona tries to make an offer, even though I still don't know how they can afford him.
I don't know either. I don't know.
Bayern Munich, a Borussia, everyone's gonna try to get Mbappe. That it is not even like Serie A teams would be doing the same thing because him added to the roster, him added to your front three or front whatever you have, instantly elevates your attack and instantly makes you a contender.
Yep.
And if you guys don't believe me, look what Messi's doing with Miami. So
yeah, it's crazy, bro.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, kind of to sum it all up though. Obviously, I don't think Mbappe is gonna sign an extension with PSG unless PSG has literally like a gun to his head. But yeah, I don't know. At this point, I think PSG like there's nothing they can do. It seems like at this point, PSG and Real Madrid are like this is Mbappe's world. They're just living in it.
Yeah.
So way to be the puppet master, you Mbappe.
Yep.
I hate you.
I mean,
but I still want
you. It's like no, but the thing is, like next thing you know, he won't even be part of Real Madrid. Like I said, he'll probably go to like
That's the part that scares me. That's the part that scares me the most. After all this, what happens if he just decides not to go to Real Madrid?
Bro, what if okay, let's put it this way. Because what if Atletico Madrid somehow ends up getting him? Because like
he would be a better fit than João Felix for sure.
Yeah. Because I mean, he already has even though he's young, he has the experience.
Mm-hmm. He's yeah. That's the thing that like. That's also the thing that worries me that after all this, Mbappe just doesn't go to Real Madrid. He just goes somewhere else.
I'm not even look. Let me tell you something. At least be grateful that I don't believe that he's going to go to Barcelona. Because I mean, Barcelona don't have the funds. They're going for all the retiring players, like the older players. They're basically building. And I hate to say it, and I really don't mean to belittle MLS. But they're going for like the MLS. The players are basically like
I don't know about that.
I'm going to Saudi or I'm going to MLS kind of players.
Okay, that's a little bit of an overreaction, but all right.
I'm just saying, bro. That's what it feels like.
I know.
But that's what pisses me off.
All right. Well, this isn't going to help you in any way. So we're gonna have to talk about this player one more time. Hopefully this is the last time we talk about him. Mason Greenwood. So you guys don't remember back in October, almost a year ago, there was some audio and and some images were released that ended up giving Mason Greenwood a charge of rape, and obviously all the allegations that are related to rape for him. And obviously we're talking about audio. There was like no video with the audio, but obviously the audio you can hear was Mason Greenwood, basically telling his at that time girlfriend, it's happening whether you want it or not. Kind of, I'm just paraphrasing because I really don't want to go any further with this.
You don't want to hear that, yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, he was facing with these allegations. There was, he was put under custody. He was suspended from Manchester United till the end of the investigation, to the end of the case. Eventually, there was a reason why the charges were dropped. I believe, like, one of the witnesses, something to do with the witness, something about like they were compromised or something. I don't know what it was, but eventually their testimony was not valid anymore. So it ended up leading to the charges being dropped for Mason Greenwood, and Mason Greenwood was essentially, I guess, free. Came out innocent. Once again, take that with a grain of salt.
The way you said free.
I mean, well, yeah, he's free from going to jail. So, but yeah, so here's the thing, and I'm always gonna say this: it's hard to tell whether or not it happened. There has been cases where it was a lie the whole time. But obviously the thing that makes this case different is that there is audio proof of it. Once again, there's no video to it, so that's the only, like, you don't really know if it's actually Mason Greenwood besides his voice. But I mean, if you were to ask me what Mason Greenwood sounds like, I can't tell you. I barely found out how Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi sound like. So like,
really?
No, I'm just saying, like, you watch these soccer players, you never hear them talk. Sometimes, like, I mean, it's not like I'm here, let me listen to this press conference, So I'm like, most of the time I just watch the game and that's it. I don't care about the interviews and all that. But like the day I found out what Harry Kane sounded like, I was like, oh dear God.
You have never heard Harry Kane talk, bro?
I found out in FIFA, because he was in the Journey. And I was like, oh my God, that's his voice. Yeah. But going back to this. So with that being said, though, it is possible that the charges were just dropped and he probably still did it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys want an example, OJ,
Oh God! I think it's too soon, man.
Really?
It's still too soon.
There's been so many documentaries about this at this point. I mean, but anyways, like, obviously the charges were dropped for him. It's still up in the air whether or not he did it or not. I mean, you write a book calling "If I Did It" doesn't necessarily help your case. But kind of going back with kind of getting all back to Mason Greenwood, though. The issue is that once you're labeled this, and I mean, obviously we can say the same thing for Benjamin Mendy, another player that got hit with multiple charges of the similar thing, but now his charges were all dropped, and now he's back to playing with Lorient now. So I mean, like I said, though, obviously you want to believe that people are being honest, especially when they're obviously having to build up the courage to tell people what happened to them, because obviously this is a touchy subject. But like, we also have heard cases where people just flat out lie and then ruin people's credibility and ruin their careers. Sean Oakman, Baylor University football player, never got a shot to play in the NFL because he got hit with sexual misconduct charges as well. And then finally it came out that she was the person that accused him was lying the entire time. And at that point, he could never recover from it. Like, at that point, at his age, he was never going to be able to get an opportunity to play in the NFL. I think he tried to do like summer league or spring league football, but obviously once again didn't make it pro. But that's a prime example of people that take advantage of this because of these guys' stature and their status of what they are, which is their celebrity. Once again, I don't believe Mason Greenwood is innocent. I'll put my bias out there. I don't think he's innocent. It's just that the audio does not help his case. But clearly the charges were dropped at the end of it all. But like I said, once you get labeled you're this person, it's not easy to get that off your name. Like it's just gonna never be done. And obviously with the fact that he was still technically under Manchester United's roster, not officially, but is still under Manchester United, Manchester United decided that they needed to conduct their own investigation, which sounds kind of weird if you think about it. Not saying that they should honor what the police investigation was, or anything like that. But I'm just saying, like, wouldn't you have been doing your own investigation during the investigation? Is my thing. But anyways, they decided to conduct their own investigation and kind of decide what they're going to do with Mason Greenwood, whether they were going to bring him back in the club or they were just going to release him. Their argument was that they still have not yet to come to a decision, and they wanted to consult their women's team, which some of the players were currently playing for the English national team. So they were going to wait till they came back and hear their side, whether they would feel comfortable having Mason Greenwood play for Manchester United. And some people may think that that's a little bit, that seems a little bit odd to do. But for example, when I worked for the Houston Astros, the Astros made a very controversial trade, and that was to trade for Roberto Osuna. He's a closing pitcher, was with the Toronto Blue Jays. At the time, he was facing sexual abuse charges from his girlfriend back in Toronto. And so one of the things that the Astros did before making the trade official was that they consulted all the employees. Like, I actually had to go to a meeting, and they were like, is everybody comfortable with this decision? And blah, blah, blah. Like, if anybody doesn't feel comfortable, please let us know. Did they listen to him? I don't know. I don't know if there was anybody that was, I can't tell you because obviously it was a private meeting between they had like a open door kind of thing where anybody can walk in, tell them if they're comfortable or not with it. At the end of it all, the Astros did end up trading for Roberto Osuna. And yes, there was a lot of controversy with that trade as a whole. I know I'm probably boring you with baseball talk, but obviously they made the trade. People were booing him every time he came on, but then obviously he's a very good closing pitcher, and then people just forgot about him. And that's kind of like the crappy thing about sports. At the same time, it's like they don't care what kind of, some people do care, some people don't care what the person are. As long as you're good, they don't really care who you are. But kind of going back, so they just, like I said, going back to Manchester United, so they decided to consult their staff, all their employees, because there was actually a lot of employees that were prepared to say, I'm going to quit if Mason Greenwood is still with the club. And I think the thing that's a little bit different versus the Osuna thing versus this one is because Osuna was getting hit with sexual abuse, which is still not good. It's still terrible. Sexual assault. I'm sorry. I mixed up sexual abuse and sexual assault. Sexual assault. Still terrible things. But obviously, with Mason Greenwood is definitely worse. But still, like I said, Osuna, what he did was not good. But obviously, what Greenwood did was obviously a lot worse. But employees, everyone was very clear that they would, and even fans were saying, like, I will not be a fan of this club if Mason Greenwood is still with the club. But obviously, update now, Mason Greenwood has been released from Manchester United. Mason Greenwood made a statement saying that though he is innocent, he did not do what he was claimed that he did. But he respects the decision of the club, blah blah blah. But anyways, Edward, how do you, I mean, obviously you're a Manchester United fan. Would you have ended your fandom with Manchester United if Mason Greenwood would stay with the team?
I'm still here, but I'm a little bit iffy on that, to be honest.
What about it?
I don't know. It's just because you just asked me like, oh, would you continue your fandom with Manchester United over Mason Greenwood?
Okay,
And you're like,
yeah, that's a shitty question to ask. Um, how would you have felt if Mason Greenwood was still with Manchester United?
mm, I wouldn't feel too sure. I wouldn't feel too good. 'Cause, I mean, any allegations like those, they take those pretty serious, you know. And then, like I said, like there was audio, and I mean, it wasn't pleasant audio either. It was like basically him kind of getting incriminated with the whole forcing her kind of shit. So, and it was just, yeah, I don't know. So like, even if they take him back, I'll still be like, man, I'll be iffy about that, to be honest.
Yeah, I think a lot of people the one thing about like the fans, Manchester United fans are very much restless. I don't necessarily think it's because of Mason Greenwood. Obviously, it's the whole thing with the Glazers. Um, there's supposed to be some big buyout that's gonna happen, but it's not happening at the same. It's like it's weird. It's like it's gonna happen, but it might not happen at the same. It's very annoying. I would assume as if I were a Manchester United fan, I would be very irritated, especially like everybody's very exhausted about the Glazers at this point. But obviously, it probably wouldn't help their cause about how they're handling the Mason Greenwood situation.
Yeah,
Uh, I think in reality, yeah, you have to release Mason Greenwood. I don't think that there's anyone would say like I get that people deserve second chances. I mean, I understand also that his name was cleared. Take that with a grain of salt for what you want for that one, but I think also like it's already like you already have all this crap going on. Like the last thing you need is to add Mason Greenwood into that mix. Um, so I mean, I can understand like I don't I at this point you just have nothing you can there's nothing you can do. Like you just have to move on from Mason Greenwood.
yep,
Um, and maybe he gets a shot at redemption. Maybe the audio was wrong. Maybe it wasn't him. Maybe we don't know because we weren't there. Like there's no evidence that would help us for that. Um, you want to believe that the court system did what they were did their job right, and hopefully his name we've as days go by, maybe we find out more and more that as a matter of fact he did not do it. Obviously, I'm still skeptic on it, but like I said, like maybe as days go by, we'll find out that Mason Greenwood did not do anything. And as a matter of fact, that wasn't him on the audio. But obviously that's still up in the air. But for right now, he just needs to go somewhere where it just wasn't going to be Manchester United for him.
yeah,
So yeah,
hands down, it wasn't. Yeah, because I mean, it's a very heavy thing to carry around with you. Like, just put it this way: in a regular job, they're like, "Oh, why were you let go of your previous job?" Well, I was accused of sexual assault. Like how do you come back from that? And then you try to talk your way out of that. Like I cannot find a way. Like I cannot find a way to look glowing. No matter how well my job performance is. You know,
mm-hmm.
so just imagine that, but like in football terms, like for one, in Manchester United, they'll be keeping it close, or though in Manchester itself, the Manchester, they'll be keeping a close eye on that. And for sure, if he was to be going back to Manchester United, um, they'll post it all up on the papers. You already know.
Mm-hmm.
The Sun, any newspaper that's over there in Manchester.
Yeah. So, I think Manchester United made the right call. I understand
Yeah.
it's a highly touted, promising player. I think it's going to be a long time before we ever see him back with England. There's always going to be a league that's going to take him. That's just the world we live in. But
Yeah,
like I
he
said,
might actually go. He might actually be going to the championship. You don't know. Second division,
I don't know about
third
that either.
division.
I don't know. I don't think he's going to be in the UK anytime soon.
Mm,
I'm
man, you
thinking
never know.
there. I feel like the track record, like there's always been controversial players, and I feel very confident to say that I've never seen any in like and even in the EFL structure. I could be wrong on that, but I feel like players, especially with those kind of backgrounds, they end up going elsewhere, like more east side of Europe kind of thing. Um, but we'll see what happens with him, man. Or maybe not. I don't really know. I can't tell you anything.
Hmm.
But hopefully that's the last time I ever have to mention Mason Greenwood ever again. Um, unless like he's fully redeemed. But all right, it's debate time. This debate is brought to you by Canadips. Canadips is a great tasting, superior alternative to traditional dip using CBD in a way that is radical, enjoyable, and effective. It comes in 5 core flavors: wintergreen, mint, citrus, mango, and American spice, crafted and manufactured in Humboldt County, California, the heart of the cannabis industry. Why does this all matter? I'm going to tell you, as somebody that used to dip, it is a disgusting habit. Um, it is just super old, and there's just got to be a better way to enjoy dip with long-lasting taste, and it has zero downside, which is what Canadips did. The secret is they use 100% American-grown hemp, and it is combined with water-dispersible technology, so it absorbs rapidly, and have delivered CBD through the mouth that no one else has, so you can actually enjoy it, and it is all natural, nothing synthetic or anything else. So if you guys go to CanadipsCBD.com and use the code BELLYUP20, you can save yourself 20% off your purchase. Once again, Canadips.com, CanadipsCBD.com, use the code BELLYUP20 save yourself 20% off your purchase. All right, so Saudi Arabia. So the Saudi League is trying to join the Champions League. It is a thing that's actually happening, or at least they're trying to. They, I'm assuming, because of all the high-profile players that they have now, that they would want to try to bring in, would like that an opportunity to showcase their teams in the Champions League.
Hmm.
Essentially, I feel like Saudi Arabia is trying to buy themselves into the Champions League. They have their own Champions League. It's the Asian Champions League, or I don't know what's actually called, but they have their own Champions League. But they want to join UEFA's Champions League.
Hmm.
So, so today's debate topic is: should UEFA allow Saudi clubs to join the Champions League? And I'll let Edward start on this one.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
What?
A little bit, a little bit more. Okay, let's put it this way. All right. Remember how they were going to try to make the Super League, and they were trying to make like, okay, we're not going to really do Champions League anymore. It's like just going to be the Super League. Like they wanted to make that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's put it this way: it's a good way to make money too, because at that point, they're also probably going to get sponsorships from wealthy Saudi Arabian princes or companies or anything like that, because some of the teams are going to be there, players are going to be there. They can also get, Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar to show up and do autograph signings. It's going to bring more money for them. This is looking at it as a business point of view. Now, as a fan, it would be cool to see them play. It's just watching Manchester City just kick the ass out of like Al Hilal, just because they have a few good players, is just not gonna be fun to watch. It's just gonna be an exhibition. And we've seen Manchester City pull that off with teams who are actually champions. Like from Europe. It's just I believe like the Saudi League, that would be like considered what the Middle East would be considered Asia, not really Europe. The champions like European. Um, but it would be cool to see certain players come back, like Neymar, Ronaldo, Benzema. Um, see them back in the Champions League, like for them to have a chance to win again. You know, and then to actually put these Saudi teams uh to the test, you know, that would be pretty cool.
Okay.
I'm guessing I was not. I thought. I'm guessing you thought I was
No,
gonna say no.
no, your opinion is your opinion. Um, I mean, I see the business side benefiting. Obviously, all the money that's going to be brought in from the Saudi league's oil money, but obviously, like Live Tour, I know that everyone's going to compare it to the Live Tour. Live Tour is always obviously the golf tournament that they did, kind of like against the PGA to the point where now PGA. I guess the Live Tour actually, I can't tell you. I don't watch golf. I don't even know how to play golf, and I mean, watching golf doesn't seem to entice me in any way. The only golfers I know is Brooks Koepka and Tiger Woods. Um, After that, I can't tell you anything. And and Bryson DeChambeau, but that's just because he looks like a douchebag. But like, yeah, like for me, and then obviously like the PGA, the Live Tour was so good that like the PGA decided to join forces with the Live, and now the Live and PGA are now members or combined. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like I said, I don't watch golf. But the thing is with me is that there's a reason why we have federations. That's the reason why we have confederations. Like there's a reason why we have the Asian Football Federation. There's a reason why we have the Oceania Football Federation. There's a reason why we have CONCACAF, why we have CONMEBOL, why we have UEFA. Like I feel like there's a reason why we have all these federations, these confederations, and it's because like you play in your confederation. Like I get all those things, but like I mean, yeah, I think CONMEBOL is trying to invite Inter Miami to the Copa Libertadores, but they're inviting them. Like they're still gonna like Inter Miami will still compete for the CONCACAF Champions Cup or whatever the hell it's gonna be called. But
Yeah.
like you have your own tournament, like you have your own competitions. Like if that's the case, like if we're gonna use that logic, why don't we have freaking America play in the Champions League? Like if we're gonna also do that, like
But no, but like let's put it this way: in the Champions League, you gotta look at the sponsorships that they have. They already got like what Heineken. Sometimes they got like Toyota.
why not get Corona? Like I mean,
I don't think they're up there.
You don't want to invite
I mean, they're very
You don't think they'll do promotions with Vin Diesel and him screaming family?
talking about family.
Like,
but what I'm saying is like those sponsorships are really popular in North America. I don't think they're that popular over there in Europe. You know what I mean?
No, I get all those things, but for me as a fan, I would not like the idea of the Saudi. Like, I'm already kind of annoyed with the Saudi teams as it is now. Like, why would I want them to compete in the Champions League? Like, this is supposed to be this like well-respected tournament for European clubs, and because who's to say the Saudi League flashes a little bit that oil money? Maybe the Qatar League now wants to do the same and try to like. At that point, like it's not going to be the UEFA Champions League. It's going to be the UEFA and AFC Champions League, excluding Japan and Korea. Like I just don't. I think like at one point the Saudi Arabians, like the Saudi League. I don't want to say Saudi Arabians, like the Saudi League. Like at one point you just got to know your role. Like you just not got to know where you're playing it. Like your confederation's your confederation. If you want a shot at beating Manchester City or a shot at playing Real Madrid or a shot at playing Barcelona or Bayern Munich or any one of these teams from Europe, win your confederation. Because that's the only reason why they're trying to do this, because they know that even with the players they have, they for some reason can't win their freaking champions, their own league, their own countries like Champions League. Like, stop trying to buy yourself into things. Like, earn it. Like, just earn it in general. Like, why is it so hard for people just to just simply just work your ass off and just get to where you wanted to work your way to it, not just buy your way in it? Like, I don't necessarily like it, because I don't want to see them compete in the Champions League. I want to see Europe's allegedly the best teams go against each other to see who's the best in Europe. I don't want to see the best teams in Europe and maybe Saudi Arabia, but they probably don't even get out of the. Like, I personally think it's gonna ruin everything. It's gonna ruin football. It's the same thing what the Super League was gonna do. It was gonna ruin the game because it was all about money. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you UEFA is like this poster child of making the right decision, because let's be honest, the Europa Super League could have happened if UEFA got some of that money. If UEFA would have got money from the Super League would have happened.
Yep.
But it didn't. They didn't, and that's why they fought it. But like for me, like I just don't like the idea of a team buying their way into a tournament. Like I said, Saudi Arabia has their own way to go into the FIFA Club World Cup, which is about to get expanded. So now you even have a bigger opportunity to get into that tournament, where you do get a chance to play against the best in the world. So, like, why don't you just do that? Like, why do you have to join the Champions League? Like, I get it that you want to be European adjacent, but you're not. Like, you're Asia. Just play in Asia. Like, your alleged best team with Cristiano Ronaldo hasn't even won a game yet in the regular season. Obviously, they won a trophy not that long ago, but like, focus on your own league. Try to better improve your league, because your league. I mean, you just got to deal with Fox, or I don't know who they got to deal with, but I know we can now watch the Saudi League here in the U.S. Like, just focus on bettering your league. Focus on bettering your product. How about developing some Saudi Arabian players? Like I don't mind that you're trying to bring in Ronaldo and try to bring in freaking Edouard Mendy and Koulibaly. Like, I don't mind you doing this stuff. I don't mind you bringing Benzema in. Like, I don't mind all that stuff, because it doesn't affect the quality of what Europe is still. And it's like, if one of those teams, they're not getting out of the group. None of those teams are getting out of the group.
Yep.
So, like, what's the point of doing it? Like, none of your teams are good enough to win the group. In my honest opinion, like, I just think if it happens, it's just clear that UEFA is just as greedy as everybody else. They only want it for the money. Personally, I don't think it should happen. I don't even want it to happen. Just stay in your lane. Go play in Asia. Win the Asian Champions League. Like, if you really want to play against like the best teams in Europe, well, beat your Champions League and get into the FIFA Club World Cup. Like, just do it the right way. Don't do it. Don't do this. Like, I hate that you're flashing your money as much as like you are right now as it is. And this is coming from a Real Madrid fan.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, at this point, it's getting annoying. Like, I really hope this league falls apart. Like, I hope that I seriously, at this point, I hope the same thing happens with the Chinese Super League, where at first it's like, oh man, they're offering this boatload of money, and then, oh no one wants to go there because the league sucks. Like, I really do hope that happens. Like, now I really more than ever want that to happen.
Well, the thing is, you have to look at it from the player's point of view as well. It's like a lot of these players are going to the Saudi League because the money is good. You know, it's not because
they're not there for the league. They're there for the money.
No, they're there for the money. That's all said and done. But that's the thing. It's like, you know, a lot of these players, like, they'll stay in the competitive league because they're like, no, I want to stay in the competitive league. I'm already making good money. I want to stay and compete but like I said, a lot of these players that are leaving, you know, they're going basically to the last few years of them playing, they're making a boatload of money, but it would be cool to see them maybe get a chance to actually win in a Champions League, which is a very, very low possibility. But a lot of shit happens in Champions League.
Our indoor soccer team has a better chance of winning a Champions League game than one of the Saudi teams.
I really doubt that for sure.
The probability is still the same. We're still not gonna. We're not getting out of the group, just like they will.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a joke. At that point, if the Saudi League ends up somehow buys their way into the Champions League, like at that point, I think the Champions League becomes a giant joke.
Okay.
That's just where I'm at this point.
Okay. But I mean, as a fan, like as a fan, like I told you, I wouldn't really be interested in seeing it. It would just be cool to see like players that, like I said, business point of view, they would want to see that they would want to pull money as much as they can out of it.
Like I said, it would be a money grab, and that's all it would be. But all right, we're gonna go ahead and take a break. Once again, thank you to Canada Dips for being the presenting partner for these debate topics. Once again, go to CanadaDipsCBD.com, use the code BELLYUP20, save yourself 20% off your purchase. We're gonna go ahead and take a break, and then we'll get going with the recap of the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup final with Stuart Kavanaugh, and then go to me and Edward recapping the League's Cup final.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan from No Credentials Required to talk to you about one of our newest partners at Belly Up Sports, SeatGeek. Yeah, live sports is great on television, but the feeling of being at the arena is a priceless experience. That's why our friends at SeatGeek are there to help you find the best tickets at the best prices. Not only can you get tickets to sporting events, but you can also get tickets to concerts, comedy shows, musicals, and more. Search for your desired event now at SeatGeek.com, enter promo code BellyUpSports at checkout, and you save $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek. Life's an event. We have the tickets.
All right. So, I don't know what happened. Stuart, I wasn't able to get in contact with him. So hopefully everything's well with Stuart. Definitely going to check up on him, make sure everything's all fine. Maybe there was a miscommunication. I don't know. But the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup final happened. Congratulations to Spain. Spain beats England 1-0 in a game where Spain had 57% of the possession. Spain outshot England 13-8 and 5-3 with shots on target. The only goal that was scored came in the 29th minute by Olga Carmona, which obviously secured Spain's first World Cup in their third appearance in the Women's World Cup. But they did it. It's kind of interesting, Spain, just because of the fact that, like, I'll tell you, my soccer knowledge when it comes to women's soccer is definitely not high, specifically in the women's game. It's not something I'm able to keep up very well. And obviously, like, a lot of the leagues are finally kind of coming up. Like, I think for quite some time, Olympique Lyon was like the best team in women's soccer. I know Barcelona's not going. I think Real Madrid still kind of in their early years of their women's team, but they still they're developing their Olga Carmona is a member of that team. But I mean, like I said, women's soccer is growing, and that's the great thing. More opportunities are coming up, and I think it's been evident because of the fact that, like, now with the women's team being so dominant, the NWSL being a destination for a lot of these women, that Europe is like, well, we do also have resources as well. And it's great that they're also, putting more of an emphasis. So it's great because it makes the product a lot more competitive. And that, for me, at the end of the day, is always the thing that's going to be is going to be more important. It's just, obviously, the more emphasis on it, the better the product's going to be in general. And that's what we got from this World Cup. And it may suck a little bit that the U.S. didn't go far, but kind of going back to Spain, though, just what an amazing performance for them. The reason Spain got me and Edward's attention from back in the year when they were doing the Women's Euro, they looked very solid. I think we even pointed a few of them out for Players of the Week at one point. But yeah, Spain just what we see from the Spanish national team, we also saw in the women's team. Very technically sound, just solid play. And so that's what what me and I were used to from watching Spanish soccer for so long. That's the women's team did it and they played phenomenally. There is a lot of exciting players from Spain right at this point. Not only Olga Carmona, but there is a lot of exciting talent. I can't wait to see, and they're all young. And so this is not. Don't think this is just like a once in a time. Like, I mean, I'm sure teams are going to be trying to get better come next World Cup, come the Olympics, and all that. But it was just really cool to see this performance for Spain, and because this is their first World Cup, that's the best part of it all. Before we get to like any other things, just the awards. So young player of the tournament goes to Salma Paraguelo, Parayello. She wins young player of the tournament, also from Spain. Another thing to get excited about for Spain. Golden Glove was given to Mary Earps of England. The Golden Glove, best goalkeeper of the tournament. The Golden Boot was given to the Japanese player Hinata Miyazawa. One of the really exciting things to watch in this World Cup was watching her. And the Golden Ball best player was to Aitana Bonmati, who plays for Barcelona. Actually, she got a lot of praise from Pep Guardiola. So for her to get the best player award, very fitting, especially when you have one of the greatest coaches of all time hyping you up. That's always good. But yeah, that was the tournament in a whole, man. It was a great tournament. I think the expanded World Cup was much needed. Obviously, the competition elevated, and that's what you want to see. That's exactly what you want to see is the product getting better. We didn't see many. I don't even think I saw a single blowout. But it was very competitive and it was really enjoyable. Yeah, I mean, it'd be great to see the women's national team, wreak havoc, but sometimes you also want to see parity, and I think that's what we got. And I think we're going to get that a lot more. I think the competition has definitely got a lot more higher. So it's not going to just be US's tournament to win. Like, this is going to become a more competitive tournament, and I think that's for the sanctity of the game. It needs to be done, and I think that's great for it to have. But before I wrap this up, we got to talk about a huge controversy that happened. So, as the medals are being given to Spain for the gold medals are given to Spain for winning the World Cup. The Spanish Football Federation president Luis Rubiales grabs Jenny Hermoso, like grabs her and then kisses her in the lips. And obviously it caused an uproar. It's very, very inappropriate. I want to know what the fuck this guy was thinking like at that moment, like where this guy thought this is what I should be doing. It was very inappropriate. Yeah, like I think maybe this could go down right as piece of shit of the year. I mean, there's a lot of pieces of shit, but like this is pretty scumbaggy. But for him to do that to Jenny Hermoso, another very well respected player in Spain. That's a player that Stewart actually highlighted that he wants to see her lift the World Cup, and she got to. But you ruined that moment for her. You ruined it. Like, you legitimately ruined what was supposed to be her happiest day ever. Besides, the day she, besides other big moments of her life aside from football, but for her football life, this is like the biggest moment of her life. This is truly like everything you work hard for to finally win a World Cup. You to bring your country's first World Cup, and you ruined it. You ruined it for her. Like, instead of her thinking about lifting the World Cup, which I'm sure she still enjoyed that moment, you ruined essentially what would have been a perfect day for her. She gets to compete in the World Cup. She wins the World Cup. She gets to do it alongside, teammates that she's played with for quite some time and all had the same goal. Well-respected player, and as she's getting the award, getting that medal, the pinnacle of a soccer player wanting to win the World Cup, you grab her and force her to kiss you on the lips. Like that's what you ruined. You ruined a perfect day. And so I'm glad that he's, that there's a, I believe investigation, or there's something, they're working on something to punish him, because one, it obviously very inappropriate. Like, and I get it that there's been instances where athletes have done such a thing, and obviously when you think of Spain, using Spain as a reference, Iker Casillas, he was getting interviewed, and then he kisses the person interviewing him. But the reason why it wasn't inappropriate, because that was his girlfriend. So I mean, like in context, yes, it was unprofessional of him, but in reality, that was his girlfriend. Like, what? And maybe she wasn't expecting it, but like, come on, let's be real. They're both like in a relationship. So I think that's a little bit different. Whereas this, like, you are a president of your federation, and that's one of your athletes, and you ruined what was basically a perfect day for her. While it was still great, she won the World Cup. She got to lift the World Cup. She got to celebrate the World Cup. In the back of her mind, she was just like, what the fuck was this guy doing? And so, yeah, might be something we follow next episode. Maybe we find out some more update on Luis Rubiales. But how do you ruin a day for somebody? And like, I mean, obviously we got to talk about it. Olga Carmona, who did score the winning goal for the World Cup, unfortunately, she received the news that her father passed away before the match, and so obviously, like, they didn't tell, they withheld that information to her, which I'm 50-50 with that. Like, I understand, like, making sure they keep her head in the game and blah, all that, but I feel like that's something that she should know. Personally, I think that's something that she should know. That's not something that you guys could be like keeping from her. But I also understand that, like, maybe let's like wait till the game's over. And it also depends on like when they got the information too. Like, maybe it was before, a little bit, minutes before kickoff or something. I can't tell you. But unfortunately, obviously Olga Carmona scoring the winning goal for her country's first World Cup. And well, unfortunately, she's not able to celebrate with her father. Now, I'm sure who's been there for her for so many years. I can't tell you, but like, I'm assuming that it's probably watched her practice, taken her to league games, helped her out, being her support, and in the biggest moment, not only for her but for him as well. Like, all that hard work as a parent, to keep supporting your kid through the good and the bad, and you're able to see your daughter play for Real Madrid, and now playing for the Spanish national team, and just was one day away from watching her, do the ultimate, have the ultimate moment for any soccer player, and that's winning a World Cup. It's unfortunate, and I'm sure it's heartbreaking, and I'm sure she's just as heartbroken, and but yeah, I think, like, at the end of it, like, the good thing about it is that he still watched it. He's up there in heaven watching it, and I'm sure even more prouder. I mean, because not only he got to watch his daughter win the World Cup in spirit. I'm sure he was able to watch it alongside some of his loved ones as well. Obviously that depends on what you believe in, but unfortunate. But at the end of it all, Spain, winners of the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. Amazing final, amazing tournament. I would argue probably one of the better World Cups in years. And I hope it keeps getting better. I think this is the bar. I really do think so. I believe the next World Cup is actually going to be hosted here in the U.S. For the women. So I'm excited. I think the expanded World Cup was very much needed for this tournament, and I can't wait to. It's all about these amazing storylines, man. Like, and I can't wait for more storylines for the next World Cup. So, congratulations to Spain. You guys are the champions of the world. So, we'll go ahead and transition on to our recap of the 2023 Leagues Cup final. And we're back. Thank you so much, Stuart. Obviously great insight on the World Cup, obviously because it was in his own backyard. But what a great final. Congratulations once again to Spain for winning the 2023 FIFA World Cup. Obviously, thoughts and prayers to Olga Carmona's family, because obviously, unfortunately, her father passed away before the final could happen. So thoughts and prayers to her family.
Yep.
But once again, congratulations to Spain. I'm sure her father was up in heaven watching her score that winning goal.
Yep.
But all right, man. So Leagues Cup final that also happened this past weekend, and it was quite the match. I honestly will say, like, if you did not watch this game and you thought that maybe Messi would just, I say Messi because that's literally what the narrative is. It's not Inter Miami winning; it's Messi winning. Messi would have found a way to destroy Nashville SC, which wasn't that big of a take to say, because I mean his semifinal opponent was Philadelphia Union, which was one of the best defenses in Major League Soccer, and he just dismantled them. So I mean, like, if they were able to do that against Philadelphia, who's to say? But obviously, the thing that's different is that Nashville is definitely one of the best teams in as far as defensive goes for MLS. Obviously, Walker Zimmerman being the main player that you think of with that back line. But so, and honestly, it was a battle. This game was very, it really could go either way in this game for both teams. But Inter Miami ends up coming out triumphant, winning the Leagues Cup final in pens. So before we get to penalties, Miami had 59% of the possession. Nashville actually outshot Inter Miami 11-6 and 6-2 with shots on target. So, yeah, it was actually pretty difficult for Miami to find scoring opportunities. And Nashville, while they had plenty, just couldn't find one to get one back in the net. But of course, Messi had to score his 10th goal in his 7 appearances so far as an Inter Miami player. He's scored a goal every single game he's played in. He scores a pretty solid goal. The second goal was actually scored by Fafa Pico, former Dynamo player, off of a corner. It was just, I would also say, very sloppy defending as well in obviously defending that corner, but still, I liked it that it happened though, because I mean this game was really good. I didn't want it to end, and it ended up going to penalties, and it went all the way down to the 11 players. So,
damn.
And the last players to take the penalties were the goalkeepers. So it was Drake Callender taking on, which I'm sorry, I apologize that I didn't get the goalkeeper for Nashville's name. I know it's not Joe Willis, but a young goalkeeper. Drake Callender puts his in the back of the net, and then stops the winning penalty for Inter Miami to win their first ever trophy as a club. First trophy in club history for Inter Miami. And this also trophy was the trophy number 44 for Lionel Messi, making him the most decorated player of all time in the game of football.
Damn, dude. But it just goes to show you, like, and that's kind of fucked up to say this, but like, it just goes to show you what kind of caliber of player Messi is. Because like, Inter Miami was really having a tough time. As soon as you brought in Messi, Busquets, and Alba, and they played together, God knows how many years. Like they played together. I want to say they played Busquets for sure, and Messi have played shit since Messi was like number 19. And even then, like,
I mean, didn't they all play in the academy together?
Yeah. Well, I don't. Alba came back. Remember, he was out and then he came back. Like he came back into the club, but by then they were already good. Like they were good. But still, like it's insane that one player all of a sudden, like, they start winning matches, they start doing crazy stuff. He starts pulling goals. Like if you notice, one of the goals that I think it was against Philadelphia Union, the tiebreaker goal, it was literally the exact mirror. It was like a mirror goal of the Real Madrid goal where he took off his shirt and showed it off to the Real Madrid fans in Bernabeu. Because it was Alba that was running the
That
ball
was,
to the
I
wing.
believe, that was the Philadelphia Union game. No, not
Yeah,
Philadelphia. No, that was, I mean, Dallas, FC Dallas game.
that was the FC Dallas. Okay, but it was literally a mirror image of that goal because like it was Alba going all the way to the wing, and then he just uh crossed it to the low cross, but it was like a lower cross to the back to the box, to the outside of the box, and Messi just put his left foot into it, and it was literally like the same fucking mirror goal, and I was like, damn, bro, like they don't even have to even say anything. They already know what the fuck to do.
I mean, I think with like the narrative that Messi's like outplaying the MLS narrative, it's one that, like, I mean, obviously I stand by the MLS. I think MLS is a very good has a good quality league. It's not up to par. Obviously, it's not up to par to Europe. And obviously, and I'm talking about the Power 5 leagues. But I think it's still a well-respected league. I think if people actually, I feel like Americans just need to give this league an actual fair shot. People that live in the United States, like, they just need to give this league a fair shot. Like, stop, like, take it. You know what it is? You know what MLS is? MLS is in and out to Texans. Like, exactly what it is.
Ooh.
You guys don't give it a fair shot. You already call it trash before you even give it a whiff. And then when you finally,
you prefer In and Out over Whataburger?
I am not saying. Oh my God, you are the epitome of every Texan. I can like In and Out and I can like Whataburger. I can like both of them. Whataburger
who do you
is.
prefer? Who do you prefer?
I prefer both.
Oh, so you mix them up together? You put an In and Out burger with a Whataburger?
Look, am I gonna eat Whataburger? Of course, I'm from Texas. Am I gonna watch La Liga, English Premier League? Of course I am. I like those. I really like those leagues. But there's also nothing wrong with the MLS. There's nothing wrong with In and Out.
I did.
If people were just to give the MLS and In and Out a fair shot before they actually say it's trash, they would realize it's actually not that bad. The fries are terrible.
I wonder what
I will say
Spencer
that.
thinks.
What? About In and Out?
About In and Out, yeah.
Spencer loves In and Out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we used to get In and Out whenever we get into Yuma. That was the only time I got to eat In and Out was in Yuma. And I enjoyed every single bite. It is a fresh burger. Freshly cut lettuce.
So what you're saying is Whataburger's not fresh?
Oh my God.
Damn, bro.
See, this is the problem I have with Texans. Like, they just don't like.
Bro, I tried In and Out. It's probably okay if I'm probably drunk or something.
Oh my God! Now
but-
you're just being disrespectful. Now you're just being disrespectful.
Hell, you know
It
what?
is not a drunk person food.
You know what? I prefer the Colombian burger over In and Out burger.
Because that's a drunk person food.
The Colombian burger?
Yes.
Okay, are you telling me you prefer In and Out over the Colombian burger?
Yes.
Oh man,
I
that's
can
horrible.
eat the In-N-Out burger in any occasion, in any situation. I don't need to be drunk to eat.
You don't need to be drunk.
I stand by my statement. Once again, Edward just hating on In-N-Out and also hating on MLS.
Ah, what?
Just,
The conversation turned to In and Out. Damn it! It did not turn into MLS.
Because I made a very, very good comparison, and it's clearly proving my point. You literally proved my point as I stand here and just have to continue to receive slander for liking In and Out.
Okay. I want you to make a poll. I want you to make a poll and say what is more preferable, Whataburger or In and Out?
That's the dumbest thing to do because obviously everyone's gonna pick Whataburger. That's like if I were to make a poll, okay, what's better, MLS or English Premier League?
You already know everybody's gonna pick English Premier League.
Exactly. Like, I mean, like, I hate that that's what you're trying to, because I gave Whataburger the respect of comparing it to Europe, to European soccer. And like, but no, that's not good enough for you.
No. All right, we're getting off topic here.
The point is, you can like both. That's all I'm saying. You can like both. You can like both MLS and the English Premier League. Both offer good things. It's not a once of an occasion kind of thing. It is actually they provide both solid services. You know what? I might go get myself In-N-Out tomorrow because of that. Anyways, even though the In-N-Out here in Houston is not as good as the one in California. But anyways, going back to this, kind of going back to what I'm saying though. Obviously, like, I don't think that what Messi's doing is necessarily detrimental to what the league is. Like, I don't think he's making the league look bad. In all honesty, Messi does that everywhere he goes. So, like, if that's the case, then he makes La Liga bad. If that's the case, he makes Ligue 1 bad. Like, Messi does this. Well, okay, maybe he didn't do that well in Ligue 1, but that's because his heart wasn't into it. But if that's the logic, then okay, then Real Madrid. What the things that he used to do to Real Madrid should have never existed in Champions League. Using that logic is what I'm saying. But I think the thing to take away also from it though is that yes, Messi alone. I'm not going to even say Messi alone. Messi with Sergio Busquets and Jordi Alba, and with Tata Martino as leading this team as its manager, like they're not only making like not only is it them pulling the strings, but the team has gotten tremendously better around them. Like, that back line looks completely different with Sergio Busquets leading them. And with Jordi Alba in the back line as well. Like, they look completely different. Drake Callender now looks like one of the best goalkeepers. I mean, he was actually a pretty solid goalkeeper, but it was just that his back line didn't help him. But now, like, they're playing solid defensively. And now, yes, Messi, people are talking about like how Sergio Busquets has been delivering a lot for Messi, but I mean, Taylor has like found a new career now because him and Messi have been pairing up very well in this tournament.
Yeah.
Like, and then now you have Cremonesi, the academy players. And I think that's the one thing that people are trying to figure out. Like, why is Miami able to pull off these these deals with the designated player rule and the salary cap crap? Well, I think and I can't tell you not for sure, but like, because obviously I'm not necessarily like an MLS like salary expert, but I believe that that U22 play, if you use the U22 initiative, their salaries also don't go towards the salary cap.
Oh.
So, and I mean, there's a lot of academy players playing in Inter Miami now.
Yeah.
Like I said, Cremonesi, the Honduran player that also comes off the bench. The countless the young Argentine players that they recently signed, like Facundo Farias, which I don't even think we even got to see him play yet. Like, those guys maybe are reasons why that they're able, like, yes, without Messi, Sergio Busquets, and Jordi Alba, maybe they wouldn't do well in this tournament. But adding the quality of that those guys bring has clearly elevated these guys' playing levels.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was trying to say. I think Messi's also going to improve the league because now MLS is talking about increasing the salary cap, adding an additional designated player. So they're going to try to make the league better to add more quality to the teams. So I'm just going to say that at the end of it all. But and to also conclude, Messi ends up winning the Golden Boot because obviously he scored the most goals in the tournament, and he also was awarded the Best Player award because obviously he was the best player in the tournament.
Can't fight that, can you?
And Drake Callender, the goalkeeper, wins Keeper of the Tournament.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, so I mean, overall, this was Inter Miami was just the talk of the town since Messi has come in. And now, because of that, I feel like I am actually going to end up giving away a Messi jersey at the end of this season, at the end of this MLS season. Because if you guys don't know, I did make a jersey bet. If Inter Miami can get into the MLS Cup playoffs, once again, I'll reiterate, I do not consider the 8th or 9th place spot as a playoff position, but I do count it if they do win that playoff round. So essentially, the 8th and 9th spot are wild card positions. If you guys want to look at it like that as an American sport scope, 8th and 9th will play a wild card game. The winner of that will go obviously against the higher seeded team in the MLS Cup. So if Inter Miami finishes in 8th or 9th, I would not consider that a playoff position unless they win that playoff game. So just so you guys know, you guys don't be trying to, oh, they made it, they finished 8th or 9th. That's playoffs. No, it's not. I don't count it as playoffs. They have to.
Okay.
So finish 7th or better, or win the wild card game. So
okay, what if they finish 8th or 9th, but they win the playoffs?
They win that playoff game, then they're in the playoffs, so that counts as being in the playoffs.
Okay.
They have to be in the MLS Cup playoffs, not in the wild card game.
Excuse me.
Or the play-in game. The MLS Cup play-in game. So which is crazy to think, because this team would essentially have to make a run. Like a really epic run to finish there. But I mean, the way they're playing, it might be able to happen. Anything's possible at this point.
Yep.
But yeah, so that is the MLS Cup, the League Cup final. Players of the Week. Players of the Week is brought to you by In the Clutch. In the Clutch is an amazing apparel company that's partnered with the Players Associations of Major League Soccer, National Basketball Association, Major League Baseball, the NFL, and so much more. Really cool designs. Very comfortable shirts as well. I love the material. And it has passed the Fat Boy test quoted by Kelsey Coyne of High Low Sports. If you guys remember from last week. So if you guys want to go to intheclutch.com, use the code insert name at checkout, and you'll save yourself 10% off your purchase. Once again, use the code insert name and save yourself 10% off at intheclutch.com. Edward, who's your player of the week?
All right, so this comes at no surprise, I'm pretty sure, to everybody. My player of the week is actually Inter Miami's Lionel Messi, who scored one goal in the game, and when it was tied up, and then he scored his penalty in the win against Nashville. So yeah, that's my player of the week, Lionel Messi. Getting his 44th championship.
Yep.
And who's your player of the week?
La 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 la. Hey Jude Bellingham is my player of the week. He scored 2 goals in Real Madrid's 3-1 victory against Almeria. That's the only reason he's scored already in his first 2 games as a Real Madrid player here in La Liga. Already 3 goals and assists into his tally. So Edward's saying, well, we don't know. He's got to fit in. Well, he's fitting in perfectly fine. And it's crazy because he has to kind of play like that 10 role and then in some occasions has to play that false 9. So he's doing a lot. He's doing actually more than what he normally plays, especially when he was in Dortmund. So yeah, Jude Bellingham, I'm loving every minute of it. He's definitely living up to his signing. And so yeah, Jude Bellingham is my player of the week. So congratulations to Lionel Messi and Jude Bellingham for being our players of the week. If you guys want to go on Instagram or the X at InsertNameFC, our post for player of the week will be on there. If you want to have a say on who wins an additional player of the week vote, if you guys go on X, it is going to be on the subtweet. You can go ahead and vote on that one. And if you guys want to vote on Instagram, it is posted on our stories. That's how you get to vote for who you think is a player of the week. Because at the end, all tallies will go in to our Roosevelt Spencer's Player of the Year award. I can already update you right now. Erling Haaland has now tied with Pedri. So now it is not just a one-horse race now for the Player of the Year award. But all right, some games to look forward to this coming weekend. So we do have some games. Al Fateh is going to be taking on Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. Right now, Al Nassr has yet to have recorded a victory in their new season. Maybe they can do it this time around. In Ireland, we got Shamrock Rovers taking on Dundalk, two teams that are doing very well right now in Ireland. Just thought you should give them a look. In Brazil, we got Flamengo versus Internacional and Atletico PR taking on Fluminense, which I believe that's the team that Marcelo plays in right now, but I think he's currently facing a suspension for an incident that involved a player breaking his leg.
That was pretty gnarly. But it wasn't intentional, mind you. It wasn't. It was not.
Yeah. In Turkey, we got Fenerbahce taking on Istanbul Başakşehir. So that'll be a good matchup. And in Denmark, we got FC Nordsjælland taking on FC Midtjylland. And I just want to point out that FC Nordsjælland, their academy lost to Houston Dynamo's academy. I just want to point that out one more time because suck it. It's still one of my favorite moments from the GA Cup. So even though I don't work for the Houston Dynamo anymore, GA Cup was definitely one of my favorite times working for the Houston Dynamo, especially getting the opportunity to watch the U15 team just beat a team like Northland. Definitely a highlight aside from their comeback win against Arsenal when they were down 3-0. So, but Northland, really good team. Some of those kids that are in the U15 team, man, they're really good. I can't. Hopefully, I get to see them one day in their first team.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, MLS. We got Atlanta United taking on Nashville SC. Obviously, Nashville losing the Leagues Cup, but hoping to still be able to contend in the MLS. And on the other side, we got the New York Red Bulls taking on Inter Miami. So now Messi will be making his debut in the MLS, his MLS debut.
Yes. That's going to be good.
All right, Liga MX. Yep. Liga MX, we got America taking on León and Santos Laguna taking on Chivas, who got plenty of rest from being eliminated so early in Leagues Cup. So I'm sure that, and I mean, I believe right now they have a pretty good record right now. It's still early in Liga MX though.
Mm-hmm.
In Ligue 1, we got PSG, who still has yet to record a win, taking on RC Lens. And Nice taking on Lyon, who Lyon also hasn't recorded a win.
So it's just, it's still early.
Still early. In the Bundesliga, we got RB Leipzig, who also still hasn't recorded a win. Taking on VfB Stuttgart. To be fair, though, they did win the Super Cup. So
yeah.
And Borussia Mönchengladbach taking on Bayer Leverkusen. In the Serie A, we got Lazio, maybe featuring Ugo Lloris, taking on Genoa. I forgot how Kelsey told me to pronounce it. And Cagliari taking on Inter Milan. All right, now the leagues that you guys actually care about. In La Liga, Villarreal taking on Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
And Rayo Vallecano taking on Atletico Madrid, who is struggling right now.
Yeah.
They actually I literally just watched them draw 0-0 against Real Betis, which shout out to Real Betis because now they have Isco on their team. I don't know if Edward knew that.
Yeah, I do. And I mean, I want good things to happen for Isco because I feel like he's a good player. He's a good player.
Yep. All right, and in the English Premier League, we got Chelsea taking on Luton Town. Chelsea coming off of a very embarrassing performance against West Ham United. We'll see how they respond against the new team in the English Premier League. I should see. Fun fact of Luton Town: last time they faced against Chelsea. You want to do that, Edward? I'll do it, but I mean, next time I'll prepare better. But
yeah, I mean, you do it.
I said I was gonna do it.
No, I'm just trying to copy what my kids usually say.
Oh,
You do it. Like they said, that's how they say it.
Ah. Okay.
And then when I give them like the stern dad voice, they're like, "Can you do it, please?"
Dang. Really like that, huh?
But
All right. When was the last time Chelsea and Luton Town faced off against each other? Let's see. And they don't have anything. Let's see. Okay. All right. The last time Luton Town faced off against Chelsea. Hey, really? Oh, okay.
what?
Was March of 2022 in the English FA Cup. So last year.
Last year?
Yeah. Okay. So that kind of sucked. That was disappointing. All right. I apologize for that. All right. Next time we've ever mentioned Luton Town, I'll make sure that like it's like super old the last time they faced off against each other. But all right, Newcastle United taking on Liverpool. So Newcastle United, I believe, did not fare well against Manchester City, and so hopefully they can see if they can bounce back against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Especially since Kelsey thinks that Isak is going to become a top 3 goal scorer. So we'll see how that pans out for him. But all right, so those are some games to look forward to this weekend. Obviously, it's not all the games going on, but if you guys need like a beginner's guide, I think that this is a pretty good start if you're trying to get into this game. But all right, we're gonna go ahead and take a break, and then we'll go going with wrapping up this show with our 3 up, 3 down with the Serie A jerseys. Let me tell you guys about Belly Up Sports. Belly Up Sports is the internet sports bar. Go ahead and check out their website, www.bellyupsports.com, to read some great articles from great writers all across the country, from hockey, baseball, golf, soccer, you name it. Belly Up Sports is the premier, not your average website. And we're back. All right, 3 up, 3 down. It is the Serie A jerseys. Obviously, if you guys have been keeping track, next week will be La Liga. So we'll start with Spencer as we always do, and then Edward, and then it'll be me. So Spencer's 3 down, and his response before he gets going with these 3 downs is that all of them are plain as fuck. Screaming cat emoji.
Spence, we love you.
All right. The first one is number 3, Empoli's gross away. Dang, you really have to say. Oh, wow! The sponsor actually is gross. literally, the sponsor is called Computer Gross.
Gross away.
That. Wow! They knew about their they knew about the jerseys.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2 is Cagliari's Calcio away.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty plain.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And number 1 is Atalanta's away.
Ooh.
Okay, he doesn't like that one.
I mean, it's Joma. Joma usually has like some nice looking shirts, but they're very plain.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Edward. So that's Spencer's 3 down. What's your 3 down?
All right, so my 3 down is number 3 is actually the Frosinone. Did I say that right? Frosinone? The away.
Frosinone away.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just very plain.
Yeah.
And then my number 2 is the Genoa away. Because that one is even more plainer.
It's plainier.
It's
okay.
plainer. I mean, did you see it?
Yeah, no, I see it. Yeah, I mean,
it looks like if they started doing
if
the
only
shirt,
they had
just stopped.
This is like one of those
Like if the
cases where
machine
like you
stopped.
definitely need to get a sponsor.
No. What I'm saying is like it looks like they
Yeah,
started and then it just stopped. It just
like
stopped
the
altogether.
ink ran. They ran out of ink.
Yeah, kind of like yeah. There you go. Perfect. And then my number one. You may hate me for this one. AC Milan's third jersey.
Wow, this is probably like. I'm not shocked that you don't like it. I mean, I'm really not, but I think we'll get there when we get there.
Okay.
AC Milan's third. Yeah, I think this is the hot take.
Mm,
This is the
that's the
hot
hot
take.
take.
That's the hot take.
God.
All
Okay.
right. For me, at number 3, I'm gonna start with Genoa's away kit. Yeah,
Okay.
the whole printer ran out of ink thing is just
It just plays perfectly into it, right?
yeah, it just plays perfectly for it. My number 2 is Inter Miami, Inter Milan's third kit, and it's just because it looks exactly like the goalkeeper kit.
The third kit?
Yeah,
Okay.
like I'm just
Damn.
like
It does. It's just
so.
orange. Period.
Yeah, I mean I appreciate that they want to support Dynamo, but
I guess
all
that's
right.
one way to look at it.
And my number 1. Let me see. My number 1 is going to be Empoli's home kit. I mean, home and away it can arguably be made for both, but I'm just gonna say the home kit. They're definitely their sponsor choice was could have been better, honestly. Computer gross.
Yeah. I think, yeah,
Or
I
maybe
see where I see.
no, it's not their fault that their company that company named themselves that, but maybe
It's true.
I'm guessing gross is supposed to be like financial growth. I think
No, maybe it could be. Hey, for all you know, it might be like some computer whiz whose
like
last
gross
name is
income.
Gross. No, like, yeah, like, dude, okay, so for example, there's an elementary school called Gross.
Gross.
So, yeah.
But yeah, so that's my 3 down. All right, going back to Spencer, his 3 up is gonna start with AC Milan's third kit. That cotton candy goes hard. So already someone's against you, Edward.
That cotton candy goes far. All right.
Number 2 is Torino's kit just because of the Suzuki logo. Obviously, everyone knows Spencer's a big car guy. So let me just look at it. All the kits. So he likes all the kits from Torino because of Suzuki. I'm not gonna lie, bro. That third kit looks really nice. I think if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm gonna have the third kit up because I think that one goes pretty hard. And then his number 1 is all of Fiorentino's kits this year.
Wow. I mean, they do look pretty good.
I if Kelsey was here, I think Kelsey would agree because he's a big fan of purple.
Yeah.
As an accent color, so I can't tell you about this, but no, yeah, Fiorentina. Yeah, like I think Kappa did a really good job with these. For this one, I'll probably put up their third kit. Just I like that one the most, but all of them are nice. But all right, Eric, what's your 3 up?
All right, so my 3 up is my number 3, and believe it or not, Inter Milan's home jersey. I like the gold Nike emblem and the Inter emblem, like on top of that black and blue. Pretty nice.
Okay. It's like kind
Yeah.
of like a like an old school the Inter Milan jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
With a big old Paramount Plus on it.
Yeah. Such an interesting sponsor choice.
Hey, the thing is, Paramount Plus is the one playing their game, so I mean,
Yeah.
why not? Fuck
Yeah.
it.
Better than that. I think there was like a controversy with their last sponsor. I think it was like some sort of
Pirelli, wasn't it the tire?
no, but after that, it was some sort of like kind of like Bitcoin. I forgot what like the actual term.
I don't know about that one.
It was like some sort of one of those like Bitcoin, Dogecoin, similar to that. Like I don't know what the hell it's called. Cryptocurrency,
No,
like some cryptocurrency, yeah, bank, some account that does that. Anyways, so your second?
All right, so my second is actually gonna be. I was looking at it. I thought it was pretty cool. Maybe it's just me. So I actually looked at Torino's away jersey. It's plain, but with the Suzuki, it just makes it look like they got the Superman, kind of like Superman.
Edward showing his bias to DC.
Yeah.
All right, what's your number one?
My number one is actually Roma's home jersey.
Yeah, man, Roma just hit it out of the park.
Very simple, very clean. Reminds me a lot of the Spain jersey with that really nice yellow collar and the 3 stripes on the sides. Very simple. Adidas just went simple with it, but that's all they needed.
So the Roma home?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, no. I like the alternate badge design too.
It's just the
wolf?
dog, right? The wolf.
Is it a wolf or a dog?
I think it's a wolf.
Okay. All right. My 3 up, and I'm gonna start with at number 3 is going to be Hellas Verona's third kit. It looks nice. It looks clean. Obviously, you guys know I like the white kids, so being obviously because I'm a Real Madrid fan, but I like it. I like how everything, and I don't know what it is. I think it's just from jobs that like people like to use the word synergy. I don't know what synergy means, but I just know a lot of people like to use that word. It's one of those words that like if you say it, I'll just nod along. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but I'll just go along with it because I don't want to look stupid. And then my number 2 is going to be Torino's third kit. Because I think I like the jersey. I think it's fire.
Yeah. I'm not even telling you no. I was like, it does look fire.
And then my number 1 is AC Milan's third kit.
Oh man. So I'm the only one that didn't like it.
Bro, this thing is fire. I think the thing is with you is that you just don't like pink.
Well, to be fair, the Barcelona purple, when they had that purple,
You also didn't like that purple kit.
I didn't like it, but it actually grew on me. It was all right.
And I actually I was like, man, I hate that I love this kid. I actually did. I actually said that. I think that was the only time I ever said I liked the Barcelona kid. But yeah, I like it does give me that same vibes. But I love when, like I said, like the third kid for me is always that one that you can just go outside of your color scheme. And I think AC Milan did a good job. I like the whiteout AC Milan logo. Like for me, when it comes to like jerseys, obviously your home kit, it has to be your primary color. Like it just has to be like it's either your primary color or what your club is most known for. So like for instance, Barcelona, like you have to have like the stripes. Like you just can't have a jersey without stripes if you're Barcelona.
Yeah.
And it has to be red and blue. Same thing with Real Madrid.
Yep.
It has to be a white jersey. Like your primary kit, it has to be your primary, what you're known for, and that's the white kit. It's like if Italy decides not to wear blue, like for their home kit.
Yeah.
Your your away kit, like I mean, I feel like you can kind of get away with not using your typical colors, but like it still has to be something that's from your color scheme. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for instance, Barcelona, like sometimes they like to make a yellow jersey, or so like something that's within its color scheme. And then the third kit, I feel like that's the one where you could just go like off the wall, like do something that your club's not really known for using. And like I think AC Milan did it actually. Like their home, away, and third kit honestly is like a very good idea as to what I think like clubs need to do their jerseys like. But yeah, so that is 3 up, 3 down. I think that's some pretty good list. But yeah, so obviously the show's over. We want to give a shout out to the Belly Up Podcast Network. Check out their website, bellyupsports.com. Follow them on Instagram and X at Belly Up Media and at Belly Up Sports. Also, shout out to Goals TV. Obviously, you can watch us now through Goals TV, and that's kind of the reason why now you can watch our show on YouTube now. Because I'm like, if I'm gonna give them like a video version of the podcast, why not put this on YouTube now? So also subscribe to YouTube at Intern INFC. But Goals TV, man, like what they're doing, which is essentially like a Netflix of just soccer content. A lot of great shows that are on there. Shout out to Riley and his coverage of the Women's World Cup, the Island Report. It was one that I actually thoroughly enjoyed, and I was watching every episode. He was very informative. He's a pure journalist, and I love those guys that like are passionate and also just journalists, because they're just very well informed, unlike me and Edward that just go off our whiffs and just take our just say a hot take and just see where it goes. So
it's a lot of those.
It's cool to see the people that are actually professional about it. So shout out to Riley. I really did enjoy your coverage of the Women's World Cup. Really good job. But so much more, man. Great content all around. I believe Jose started a Yanks of the Round Table, which is a English Premier League talk show, I guess you can say. It's really cool. A lot of great hot takes on that one as well. But lots of great content going on Goals TV, man. A lot of original content as well. Go ahead and check them out on Instagram at goals.tv, goals with a Z.tv, and on the X at goals, once again, GOLZ _TV. So you guys can see who's coming in and what hot content is coming on Goals TV. And obviously shout out to our friend, our pro, our everything, Roosevelt Spencer. He is the namesake of the Roosevelt Spencer's Player of the Year award, and he also makes the intros and outros for these episodes. So if you really like what you're hearing, man, go ahead and follow him on Instagram at thatguydope. Hit him up with a message if you need some beat work done, because the man's solid, man. He's taking care of a lot of guys that we recommend. We always recommend him to everybody at Belly Up. So make sure you guys, if you guys need some help, go get Spencer. Spencer will help you out tremendously. I highly recommend him.
Oh, yep. Yes, sir.
But all right, that is episode 141. Thank you so much for listening. Congratulations to Inter Miami and Spain for winning your tournaments. First time World Cup winners in Spain. Me and Edward, we watched Spain win. Well, not win, but competed in the Euros, and we were like, "Wow, this team's really good." And they end up winning the World Cup. So, kudos to me and Edward for witnessing,
Yep.
for being able to witness Spain. Pretty cool that they were able to win the whole World Cup. Really solid World Cup. I applaud anybody that woke up early to watch the World Cup, because it was super early, the World Cup. But real fun World Cup. If you ever got a chance to watch games, or even if you watch like the reruns that happen throughout the day, just a very fun World Cup, man. Congratulations once again to Spain. But yeah, thank you so much for listening to episode 141. Catch us next week for episode 142. I believe we'll be recording that episode, and then the following week we might not have an episode because I'm probably going to El Salvador. So we'll give you guys a better update next week, but I'll be away for the country for a week, so I'm sure we'll take advantage of with a much needed break. So we'll give you guys a better update next episode, but catch us next week for episode 142.
All right, take care, guys.